Before we begin, let me get our 8 national candidates to come up here and sit on the stage. Let's go, Aiden!
All right, listen up. Listen up.
Give me the big 8 from the Fed. Independent to qualify. Come on up here. Where's my Indies at? Where's my Indies at? Let's go. Indies, there we go.
stay. Second three, boys.
Stay.
Good morning, Magnolia. I'm Colin Strong from the great city of White. And then this morning, joining me is my co-host.
Hello, I am Isaiah Muley, and I'm from the city of Skelteddy, and this is GM.
Today in the great state of Magnolia, we conducted our first round of sports tournaments, which includes football, basketball, dodgeball, and quiz bowl. Here's some clips from that.
Hey, say I'm the beast, the largest. Been stepping up, this is my mama's lady in the party. Regardless, my daddy told me keep the heat even when I'm in Florida. I'm honest, cause these bitches hating on me because I'm the beast, the largest, the biggest, the largest. Can't have my vision for hard times with beat. Just let me get my heart up, can't be for the profile. Every play you let right there by your own kind. All before with a logo, till the winners get back like so-so. Got the straight, here in the chokehold. Need a show out and out, shout out to Bobo. Who's out the trenches, now look how he is. Talk about being we furnished the crib. Walk out the mall with some shoes for the kids. Don't polish the checks, my bag full of M's. Pay them all right now, look for the years. The view look crazy from here, but I pay for some dollars. Could've bought me vanilla Texas piece on my neck, could've bought up a ring. Say I'm the biggest, the largest. Been stepping up, this is my mama's lady in them apartments. Regardless, my daddy told me keep the heat even when I'm in forest. I'm honest, cause these bitches hating on me just because I'm the biggest, the largest, the biggest, the largest. The California weed in the blunt. Let my little brother roll in the Dutch. My little boy get whatever he want. Madam T don't be asking much. All I lean on the nuggets and lunch. With the rest of they play get a punch. Live Chris off some my hands.
We wish the city's well that they can continue playing their sports. Now we're going to start a segment of the Daily Ladders. Our honorable mention is Holland. Our third place is White. Second is Shad. And our first place is the city.
Law enforcement is looking for the guy who hijacked into the GNN broadcast last night. He was last seen at Weir Hall. Here's the most recent description of him. If you have any information or any tips, please report it to your local county sheriff.
Once again, I'm Isaiah Muley from the city of Skelteddy.
And I'm Colin Strong from the city of White.
And this is GNN signing off.
Negative five. Negative five. Two boys. Stay. Y'all listen up.
So most of you probably don't know, your own GNN is the one running this debate tonight, or this morning. Would y'all please stand? Give a round of applause for these guys right here. They've been hard work for these debates going very soon. All right, I'm gonna hand the mic off to each of you. Introduce yourselves and what city, boy, state city you're from.
Hello, I'm Isaiah Muley, and I'm from the city of Skelteddy.
I'm Landon Dune. I'm from the city of Horn.
My name is Simon Harden. I'm from the city of Flags.
All right, so we're gonna go over a few basic rules before we get started. We're gonna keep it clean today. We're gonna keep it fair. We're gonna have some good questions asked. So for each of you, except for Lieutenant Governor and Governor, you'll have a 2-minute opening statement, followed by no rebuttal. So whatever is said in the opening statement is just what is said in the opening statement. You will each get asked a question. It has been fielded by our GNN moderation team along with staff. And each party will get the chance to rebut the other candidate's answer to the question. Are there any questions before we get started? All right. We're going to start off with our Commissioner of Agriculture and Commerce. So for each party,
1 minute response. 1 minute response after questions.
yes. So the rebuttal is 1 minute. The answer to the question is 1 minute. Yes. So start off with Max first.
Let that guy go first.
Start off.
Mr.
Press the button.
Thank you, bro.
We'll start with the opening statement. Ms. Kalish Paiva, you can go first.
How you guys doing? My name is Nicholas Kalichka-Paiva, and that is spelled Nicholas Kalichka-Paiva is spelled K-A-L-I-C-H-K-A. Call me NKP for short, NKP for AGC. That's what it is. All right, so in a little bit of introduction, I'm from Ukraine. My parents are from Ukraine and Argentina. Both have a history of agriculture and commerce behind it. They have a really big economy that's based around that. Ukraine has a big seed, sunflower export. Argentina has a big meat export. That's what we want. All right, so first we're gonna break it down. Now we're gonna go to the goals and my commitments, and then we're gonna go to the Federalists and why you should vote me. All right? So, first we're gonna go to the goals and commitments. My goal is to increase the production of tobacco, marijuana, and every single agriculture thing, including beans, soybeans, corn, because I believe that if we increase this, there's going to be more options for people to buy. Because right now, in the state of Magnolia, we have a big poverty crisis. And if we give more options, these people are going to have a better way of life, and they're going to be able to eat more, which is what we need right now. Cheaper products give more options to eat. Also, we're going to make transportation more efficient. Federalists have the NFL team, the Mudcats, which is a really good idea, and it's going to bring up tourism. Yeah, let's get up, Mudcats. So first, we're going to make transportation more efficient so the Mudcats can be the #1 team in the NFL. Feds, this is a good idea because we need, nationalists, this is a good idea because we need tourism. Hey, don't give me that right now. All right, Federalists, all right. Right now, also we want to make, so marijuana and increasing marijuana and tobacco, 10 seconds, all right, it's for medical purposes only. More people strive for medical marijuana to make them feel better. So guys, I need the Federalists and Independents and the Nationalists vote today. Let's go Mudcats, let's go Natties, Natty.
Represent the city of Shad right here. Also represent the Feds. Fed up. So I come from a family of business, but I was never really interested in that. So I went and worked agricultural job. I work for an agronomist in the Mississippi Delta, checking beans, corn, cotton, mainly cotton, for bugs, diseases. I tell farmers what to spray, what chemicals to put on their crop, and when to water their crop, just all sorts of that type. Also play Farming Simulator. I got a friend back there in the back. I'm gonna get to some of the goals from our Federalist Party here. So we all like cannabis, right?
Yes, we do.
I'm really interested in getting big cannabis farms all across the Delta, really increase the sale on it for medical uses only, right? Also, where are my cat fans at? Right? Yep, okay. Who likes to eat meat while you watch football? Steak, we love steak, right? That comes from the cow. Let's eat steak. Who else likes crawfish? Also, we have more crawfish farms across Magnolia State. That's it.
potential market that could put Magnolians back to the top in ag, where they have been failing in recent years. What do you think of this proposal?
So, wait, could you please repeat the last part?
What do you think of this proposal?
Opening Cuba, right?
Okay. With the recent opening of improving trade relations to Cuba, many businesses and farmers have been eager to open up the potential market that could put Magnolians back to the top in ag, where they have been failing in recent years. What do you think of this proposal?
I think it's a good proposal. We can also open things in Cuba because there's a lot of people in Cuba, so we can do a two-way. It's a two-way road, not a one-way road. So we invest in Cuba, Cuba invests in us. And that is what we need right now. We're gonna bring more prices and more options, which is what we need. Two-way road, not one way. Come on, guys.
Mr. Gibbons, you can give your rebuttal.
I couldn't agree more with what my man over here said. But I'd like to open more countries. We need to export more crop to more countries, not just Cuba.
Mr. Gibbons, we'll start with you. Currently, it only costs Magnolian farmers the energy to pump the water out of the ground. However, it has been suggested that the government start keeping track and charging farmers for the amount that is used. This has the potential to bring in huge revenues to the government that can help boost education funds and the budget that can help hurt local farmers. Where do you stand and why? And in light of Magnolia's wool hospital crisis, should agricultural water use revenue be partially redirected to ensure basic health services in farming communities?
Well, as a person who works in agriculture, I think when you pick that business to work in, you're taking a big risk. You pose a big risk on losing money every year. It's basically like a gamble. When you buy that water, when you pay that water bill, when you buy that seed, when you buy that chemical, you're posing a risk to losing your entire farm every single time you do that. I am in support of farmers paying for education. I am in support of that. And I just believe if you're a farmer and if you choose to work in agriculture, any type of ag, you take that risk. And that's how it is in the Mississippi Delta, the Magnolia Delta.
All right, yeah, so I do agree with the Federalist over here, but he didn't answer the question. I say we do increase water right now because we need education. When we increase education, it's gonna boost the state of Magnolia up right now. Also, these rural hospitals, they need help. And allocating all these funds will help the rural hospitals. If you get a cut on your arm, they can't do anything because they don't have the proper needs. And we need to increase the fund so they can deal with what you need. Come on, guys.
Now we do our Commissioner of Insurance, Mrs. Sawyer Humbert.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sawyer Humber. Most people call me Sawdog. I'm here to Commissioner of Insurance. My argument is that I work for an insurance company, and my mom and my grandfather are both insurance agents, and I've learned a lot over working with them. I know a lot about deductibles, co-pays, HMOs, and several insurance plans. I know a lot to help us in the state of Magnolia, and I think that's all.
Were you
would be your plan to protect the policyholders of Magnolia State? How could you ensure that the average consumer is not affected by poor insurance companies or lawyers that consistently abuse insurance policies? And with many rural hospitals in Magnolia facing closure, how do you adapt insurance oversight to ensure that coverage remains affordable and available in underserved communities?
A big thing in the state of Magnolia is we have a big kind of insurance corruptancy in the system. I think we need to find a way to eliminate that, and that will prevent what you said, like people trying to take money and stuff like that.
Yeah!
Oh yeah, one thing I forgot to say is we're trying to bring gambling insurance up to 90% of your money back lost while you're gambling.
The state loses money because of that. How's that smart?
You may be seated. Now we're doing our state auditors. The National Party, Mr. Pony.
Let's go!
Come on.
Shake his hand. Go humble!
Mr. O'Shannon, can you give your opening statement? Please.
My name's Sam Olchy. I'm running for state auditor. For the past 200 so years, this great state of Magnolia has been built on 3 words: freedom, democracy, and accountability. Today, we're here to talk about accountability in your federal funds. We've had over $77 million stolen of your money, and we're here to get it back. All right? We've had welfare scandals, administrative scandals, and we've had fraudulent officials in our government, and we're here to keep them accountable. People are stealing our welfare money that's supposed to go to needy families. People are taking it and using it on not useful things that they don't need. We've got administrators that are lying about statistics to boost their paychecks.
Hey, your mic's off. But you can still hear him, though.
We're back. All right. We've got fraudulent officials that are taking money straight from the government and using it for terrible things. What we're going to do, we're going to continue prosecution of these terrible thieves that are stealing your money. We're going to find that money and we're going to put it back into what the people want. The NFL team! Let's go, Cubs! Come on! We know y'all love the NFL. What that's going to do is create more revenue that we can put into casinos, or whatever you guys want. We're for the people. Put that back into you guys, and that's going to create more revenue that we can put back into the schools and into the hospitals, into all the public facilities and research that funnels right back to you as a citizen of the state of Magnolia. That's all I've got. Vote for Sam Olchy for state auditor.
You can give your opening statement.
Before I say anything, it's Fawn. It's not phony, but that's just a mistake. It's okay. I just want to know my name. I'm James Fawn. I'm a proud Christian student athlete from Hernando High School. And also, I just want to make this very clear. I believe in statistics too. But that 77 million, that's an estimate. That's not the actual number. It's actually 100 million. Wow. So that's number one. Number two.
That's an estimate, too.
I have 3 different audits I want in place. The main audit, which I want to cut down on wasteful spending. I want to expand work-based learning. As I said before to my nationalists, federalists, blue-collar boys need to stay blue-collar boys. I want to have fix the bridges, and to have a better Magnolia for our future. And also, I'd like to talk about some of my experience. A very similar state to Magnolia, known as, well, Mississippi, I like to say. I went to the state capitol not even that long ago, and I met with Representative Doc Harris, and I told him how the income tax is taking more and more money from Mississippians every day. 2 days later, they abolished the income tax. We will cut the income tax in Magnolia. We will cut wasteful spending. We will fix our roads. I will not be a political opportunist. I will be someone who will serve all of you.
Yeah, you will.
Mr. Oshie, it is your job to investigate and aid in the prosecution of those who embezzle or misuse the funds provided by the taxpayers of the state of Magnolia. What skills do you bring to the table that will help you fulfill this vital role, and with the state considering major investments in projects like the coastal amphitheater and infrastructure repairs, how will you ensure funds are appropriately allocated and not misused?
As an American citizen, I think this country's been built on honor, and I think in the same way we should attack this Magnolia State, and I think that we should hold people accountable, and researching from past auditors and past leaders of America and the state of Magnolia, it all leads together, and it's been a good example of how we can attack this problem and further guide us to success and accountability, and keep the people that are trying to steal our money accountable, and yeah.
As a follow-up, you can give your rebuttal.
Thank you. Well, I gotta say, I understand where you're coming from. That's a really good position to have. But at the end of the day, what's gonna be most important with cracking down on this corruption is working across the aisle. That is the biggest thing. I will work with whoever the Attorney General is. I will work with whoever the Treasurer is. And I believe that we can crack down on this wasteful spending. I wanted to bring up a quote real quick because I think this is really important. The great President Abraham Lincoln once said, "The best way to predict the future is to create it." You have a choice today. You have a choice today. There is mass corruption in the state of Magnolia right now. And I believe with my administration, we will crack down on that corruption. And the door is open. We want you over here. Come on. Join our fight. Crack. Do it. Sam, I love you, bro.
Wow.
How do you feel about increased delegation of oversight of state funds to local supervisors? Should there be more power delegated to local supervisors, or should there be more regulations on municipalities using state funds?
I believe the biggest problem with that is the term private. All of this should be public. The people deserve to know where this money is going to and how it is being spent. And I believe we are robbing our democracy when it is not being public. Now, I don't like the term regulation. I just call it a provision. Let's make it fair. I don't want to be the bad guy. I don't want to be the government stepping through the door and just complete regulation. We're not communists, we're nationalists. I want direct oversight. I want to make sure this money is being spent well, and I will make sure of that in this administration.
Mr. Oshie, you can give your rebuttal.
I mean, I agree. I think this needs to be a system for the people, and I think that things should be public. I think being transparent is one of the most important things in being a human and having relationships with people and being trusted, especially in the government. I mean, a lot of people don't trust the government. I think we need transparency. I agree. I think even we could create like a
platform where that'd be like a website or an app, and it allows citizens of Magnolia to see how their funds are being spent live every day, updated. And I think that would be a good idea for us to show how transparent we can be with the people of Magnolia.
Yes!
Alright, now we'll move on to our state treasurer.
Independent! Independent! Independent!
We'll start with you, Mr. Clay. You can give your opening statement.
Hey everybody. Hey, all I wanted to say to you guys is not on. Hello? Hello?
So every candidate has to answer this. Okay, so 3-minute opening statement. Right, ask this question to all candidates. Each candidate.
All I want to say to you guys is, you might see me shaking. It's because I'm nervous. I'm nervous because I feel like I'm alone in this race. I'm an independent, but I want to speak to both the feds and the national. My slogan is that I may be independent, but I'm not alone. Because I can have your vote, I can have your vote, and I can have you guys' vote. What I want to strive to do is to make hospitals in every area, not just one big hospital in places like Jackson and in Tupelo. I want hospitals centered around each and every city. This way we can get help in wherever we need it. For instance, I've had relatives go weeks without medical care. I've had a relative die because she couldn't get to a hospital in time. What I need you all to understand is that this is our most important issue and this is what we should be funding. Feds, you want to gamble, right?
We do.
We all want the same thing at the end of the day. We want the best for Magnolian citizens. So I believe that through gambling and through our sports team, Go Mudcats, we can fund everything we need to do. Everything that we need all wraps around each other. We're so focused on being feds or nationalists, we've lost the final goal. Magnolia. We all need the same thing. That's all I have to say to you guys.
Good morning, gentlemen. My name is Brody Neal. I'm from a little small town in northeast Mississippi called Middleton. May have never heard of it, probably haven't. I'm not going to sit up here and bore you with numbers, stats, money. I'm just going to tell you about myself. I've always loved money. I worked at my mom's restaurant. Every time she paid me $10 for like 5 hours of work, I'd go to Walmart and get a Nerf gun. But $10 is not enough for a Nerf gun, so I'd say, hey Mom, the tax on this is going to be 70 cents. Can you pay for it for me if I give you this $10? I've always been smart with my money. But I'm a great leader. I lead a Park and Rec flag football team. We actually won a championship this year. If I can lead a bunch of 8-year-olds high on orange slices and Capri Suns, I know that I can lead all of you. I know I can lead Magnolia back to first place where it belongs.
You are in first place.
I am also an ambassador of the Secretary of State. I am a cooperative youth leadership delegate. I've been a student government treasurer since 7th grade. I'm in Junior Civics and Beta Club. But I believe that we, Magnolia citizens, the government should not hold all the money. It should go back to the citizens who pay for stuff. The taxpayer dollar should go back to you guys. And that's all I've got.
Mr. Cardenas, your opening statement?
Good morning, everyone.
How are you doing today?
I'm your guy. And he's from, where were you from again? No, the other guy. Elton? Sorry, you too. I'm from Gulfport. I know a lot about casinos, and I'm a big education guy here. I love to help for our education. I teach a bunch of ESL kids at my school.
Yeah.
I also went to a math competition, won 4th place with my team for Algebra 2. So I could be. Some of my policies here. Any policy involving weed, marijuana, cannabis. Any tax from it, we can use from hospitals for medical use. Any rundown hospitals that are about to close, we can fund it so they don't have to close. Because I know our citizens are very important for us and our money. We have the lowest paid teachers in the nation, and who wants to have the lowest paid teachers in the nation?
Nobody.
Nobody. If y'all vote for me, we'll go number 1.
Mr. Clay, why are you qualified to handle the multi-million-dollar budget of Magnolia? How do you intend to improve efficiency and transparency? And with proposals like the state lottery and amphitheater funding in play, how will you ensure new revenue sources are transparently integrated into our existing financial systems?
Now, I believe that for a long time, we have gotten our revenue from lucrative sources such as gambling, which they can lie to us and say, hey, we're doing this. That's what our state auditors are for, right? We can decide where the money goes and we figure out where it's going. What I believe is that by working with our state auditors and by figuring out all of this, we can decide where our money goes and where it's coming from. I believe that by investing in the state, in our stadium for the Mudcats, and by using gambling resources, we can decide that all of that money should go into our different things. Now, I'm qualified. I've been dealing with money since I was younger. I've been deciding where money goes and what purchases do since I was maybe 6 years old in my house. Now, my plan for everybody, I believe that we should all just come together as one. I'm an independent. I've been to both party meetings. I understand that the Federalists, we've got something against the Nationalists that is just, it's senseless. We all want the same thing.
That's annoying.
But what I do have to say.
Mr. Clay, time's up.
Time's up.
Mr. Godinez, your rebuttal.
Go East.
It's not really such as a rebuttal. I agree with a lot of the viewpoints he says. Mostly, education is a huge part, because most of our money should go to education. Because, I mean, Jackson, it's one of the most dumbest cities.
Whoa.
Hear me out. If y'all vote for me, I will remove it from being the dumbest cities. I will make it one of the smartest cities in the nation. Our money is very important for us. We don't want fraud. We don't want anti-corruption, do we?
No, we don't.
All right, vote for me, please.
I agree with both of them 110%. But I just got one question for y'all. Are y'all going to vote for somebody who calls his own citizens dumb?
No! No! No!
I didn't think so. And then he says the most dumbest. All of you are smart, and I know all of you are smart because all you can go vote Brody Neal for treasurer.
Given recent economic given
Test.
Yeah, let's go, Aiden.
Mr. Neal, given recent economic trials Magnolia and our nation have faced, how do you plan to keep our state solvent in the future? Given recent economic trials Magnolia and our nation have faced, how do you plan to keep our state solvent into the future?
Thank you, that's a great question.
Take time, brother. Take time.
Magnolia, let's get one thing straight. Magnolia's not struggling. Okay. I will take all of the taxpayer dollars, reinvest them into important systems such as education, transportation. I'm going to do this because education is the most important thing. How can our future get better as a state if we do not start it at the very start? And if other states see this, maybe they can follow. That's all I
Mr. Godinez, you have a
He's saying we are terribly off right now. He doesn't even know what his own state's struggling with. We are number 50th. I want to change that because one of the most important people for our state are barely being paid. That shouldn't be fair. Teachers are one of the most important things for me. Also,
y'all stupid.
on to my next point. Medical cannabis could be used instead of opioids. Because, hold on. They're so pricey. Medical cannabis could reduce costs, and in the long run, we can get a lot more money from it.
My rebuttal to all of this, all I have to say is, this isn't like all of the other candidates where you only get two choices. You've got a man who called Jackson dumb. You've got a man who doesn't know that the struggle that we're in. You got a third candidate here, and what I believe is that we're in a bad situation, but we're focusing too much on one thing. We need to diversify all of our streams of income. We've got agriculture and commerce, and we've got our gambling and our mudcats. By diversifying all these incomes, we can work with the state of insurance to provide a 30% gambling insurance rather than 90%. 90% is not going to make us any money. 30% gambling and more people continue funding our government. Second thing is agriculture and commerce will allow everyone to make more money through that. Now, I just got one last thing to say. Indies for state treasurer, Aiden Clay for state treasurer.
Mr. Godinez, with Magnolia considering both income tax and major infrastructure investments, how would you balance the need for economic competitiveness with the fiscal responsibility of maintaining vital public services?
Public services? So, we know about casinos, right? We know how they're only taxed around 12%, right? And there's only on the coast, right? And only about 8% of it goes to the state for all that stuff. One of these guys right here, these wonderful men right here, that are going for your country, I
Would the candidates for Secretary of State please come forward?
Let's go, baby!
Mr. Rich, you have 2 minutes to make an opening statement.
Thank you, sir. So I've been doing my research here, and what I've realized is we're really not that different. Okay, here's what I've seen. Both of us want to build more casinos. That's right. You know why? Because that'll bring more money to the state of Magnolia. If we build more casinos, more people are going to gamble, more people are going to lose their money, and it's going to us. And I like that. Don't act like y'all don't like it either. I know y'all do. Also, who doesn't like the Mudcats, baby? Let's go! Now, one thing that I've noticed y'all especially like, give me some Babble, right? Right? Give me some Babble, all right? You know it's great. You know it's great. You know it's great. It's really great. It's great. Let's grow some weed. Right? Come on. Not only is it fun, but it also put more money into our economy, right? Which we need. That's one of our biggest problems in the state of Magnolia. We need more money moving around in the economy, all right? More weed, baby. Now, I'm man enough to admit that when my opponents have a good idea, I'll admit it. Here's one of their ideas that I haven't heard from us. Public executions. Like, I sat with me and think of that. Because think about it. If you have public executions, those crimes will decrease exponentially. I just like to end with this. Sam, even though you're a daddy, you're still my daddy.
How are we this morning? I said, how are we this morning, guys? My name's Walt Geeson. You guys probably know me as Walter Hines. There we go. Now let me talk about the Secretary of State position. As Secretary of State, I'm in charge of elections and commerce in the state of Magnolia. Now with elections, a big problem that we've had in this country in the last few years is people talking about election fraud. And in the state of Magnolia, that's not going to happen. In the state of Magnolia, everyone's going to have to show an ID when they go to vote, and therefore, no one who's not allowed to vote is going to be able to vote. In terms of commerce, we want more money in our pockets. We don't need, I can't do anything about the federal government, but we don't need the state government taking however much percent of what it should be ours and, you know, using it for, well, we, you know, taxes are important, but at the same time, we want that money in our pocket. So I propose we lower the nicotine age to 18. Well, we can use that extra money from artisans and other you know, nicotine products to go towards education and roads and other things. Because everyone here knows a small business in their community that closed because the larger business, you know, took all of the...
That's time.
Thank you.
go Mudcats.
Mr. Rich, voting is a key proponent to the success of a democracy. Do you believe that the current voter ID laws preserve the integrity of the process or restrict access to American right? As we discuss growing inequality in education access, how do you ensure voter turnout among the young and underrepresented voices most impacted by these policies?
So first off, first part of your question, I believe that we have a good system for determining if somebody's legitimately voting or not.
That's right.
Because, I don't know what he was talking about. We already have laws that you got to show ID, right?
That's right.
You already got to show your ID, right? Second off, a way to increase voter turnout in our younger generations. That's where we struggle with voter turnout, right? Is we got to educate them on what they're voting for and why it's important to vote. Because currently, they don't know why it's important. They'll think, let's let the older people handle that. But no, our government relies on their shoulders, on who they choose to vote for. So we need to educate them on how to vote and why they should be voting. Yeah.
Mr. Geisen, you have 1 minute rebuttal.
Tell me this, who is taking a government class here?
You? I'll take it next year.
Now, how many of you guys, was it a class where you just sat on your phone, there wasn't really, wasn't the most intellectually, right. It starts there. It starts in our schools where government class is made to be a joke, right? It's one of the most important parts of being American and Magnolian is our right to vote, and that's something that we can't take for granted.
Yeah.
And so we start in the schools, we start by making government class something that, it is, everyone has to take it, but it needs to be something that actually gets people out to vote at a young age, right? Yeah. Real solution.
Thank you. Mr. Geisen, what is your position on the automatic voter registration in which eligible citizens who interact with government agencies are registered to vote unless they decline? Could this help increase civic participation, especially in rural and underserved communities at risk of hospital and school closures?
Yeah, I think some people who might not think about going out and registering to vote, this gives them an opportunity to have it placed in front of them, right? And they can opt out if they want to, that's fine. But this is a policy that meets people where they're at, right? This is something where we meet them there, we're like, hey, vote. This is something you should do as an American, that's a Magnolian, and I support the idea of going to where the prospective voter is.
Mr. Rich, you have 1 minute rebuttal.
Thank you. So, I agree with what he says. I think, as I said before, we need more voter turnout. And moving to these rural areas, we'll get more voter turnout. But also, it's more than that. People want to vote if they actually like our government. And in order to like our government, we got to do more things for the people. Right? That includes what I said in my introduction. Build more casinos. Get the money moving, right? Go Mudcats! Right, go Mudcats! And also, about that nicotine you said earlier, 18? What? 12! Let's go! If you want a good Secretary of State, vote Ellis Rich!
Thank you, candidates.
Good job, Ellis.
Would the candidates for Attorney General please come forward?
Yeah, boy.
Mr. Hayes, you have 2 minutes to make an opening statement.
Good morning, how y'all doing? My name is Jackson Hayes. I'm a primary candidate for Attorney General. A little bit of background about myself. I'm from Hattiesburg, about a 4-hour drive from here. I've been doing mock trial for about 3 years now. We won state this year, went to Phoenix and ranked 29th nationally, so I got some experience in the courtroom. But enough about credentials, about my primary goal should I be elected Attorney General. It's a stronger Magnolia State. The national average for state funding for the police force is about $407 per citizen in the state. A fairly high number per citizen. Miss Magnolia's is $187. That's over 55% lower than the national average. Our boys in blue are underfunded. Simple as that.
They don't do nothing.
Another statistic for you. Magnolia ranks top 3 in crime rates. Something's got to change, something's got to give. And the clearest thing that has to change, that has to give, is a stronger Mag State. Should I be elected Attorney General, I'm going to reallocate funds to the police force, because the best way to guarantee a drop in crime rates is to make sure that crime will fail. Make the idea of committing a crime idiotic. Just as much as we got to help educate people, make sure they know committing crime is wrong, we got to make sure they know if they try to commit crime, they will fail. A vote for Hayes, make sure crime will never pay. Thank you.
Thank you, candidate. Mr. Givens, you have 2 minutes to make an opening statement.
Good morning, Boise State. How are y'all? Now, I'm looking to protect all of Boise State's policies, all of them that I can, within reason. Okay? So, I'm fed for life, right? I'm a fed for life. But I also want to protect y'all nationalists and everything that y'all want. Like, background. Let's have some background in the state, okay? One thing that I noticed is incredibly wrong. I would work a whole lot with the state auditor, whichever one gets elected. I would work very much with them because I believe that these income taxes are ridiculous. We raise, and the state of Magnolia gets almost $3 billion in income taxes every year, but where's that going? I don't know where the income tax is going. Like, I don't see any difference. So I think we need to drop that income tax significantly. I'm tired of my paycheck being cut in half just because the state wants to take some money that they won't use, okay? I think we drop the income rate, or the income taxes, and we build casinos upon casinos upon casinos, government-owned casinos, so not private billionaires are not getting all this money. The government gets this money. They go straight into education, the roads. I'm tired of having to fix my truck because I'm driving in potholes, okay? Ridiculously high crime rates. Let's kill people. So those murderers and rapists will not try again.
Thank you, candidate. Mr. Hayes, what is your opinion on capital punishment? Do you agree with the state of Magnolia's current policy of death by firing squad? And would you seek the use of the death penalty as AG? Or would you favor other options, such as a life without parole?
Good question, good question. It's a contentious issue. Should we kill people? Should we not? I've got a whole lot of opinions here. Just heard a few of them. But I was born and raised Christian. I was born and raised Catholic. And and I was taught from a very young age that all human life has value. All of it. Every single one of us here. Because of that, I think the firing squad is archaic. I mean, we've been doing this for God knows how long. Putting people down by shooting them to death, we are better than that. I say life without parole protects the sanctity of human life that every single human life has and that every single human life deserves.
Thank you, candidate. Mr. Givens, you have 1 minute to make a rebuttal.
Okay, thank you for saying that. I'm also a Christian, born and raised. Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior, okay? But I have a real quick question. If someone, so America is a free country, correct? It's a free country. Freedom of life is one of those. If someone takes away someone's freedom of life and kills them, murders them, why do they get that freedom? Why do they deserve that freedom of life? Okay? So, I agree all life has value, but if you think you deserve, if some murderer thinks that they deserve to kill someone and take their freedom of life, why in the world do they get the freedom of life? So let's kill them in front of everyone to stop murderers from our murderous state.
Thank you, candidate. Mr. Givens. Mr. Givens, an estimated 35% of all state prison admissions in 2017 were due to a technical violation of parole or probation. What solutions would you suggest as Attorney General? Additionally, how would you address the disproportionate impact on people of color within Magnolia's probation system and support fairer sentencing alternatives? Do you support reforms to reduce costs within the Department of Corrections while improving outcomes for communities?
Okay, I'm glad you asked that. Okay, so I'm a big believer if you do the crime, you do the time, okay? So, and I'm born and raised Christian. I'm not racist. I do not tolerate racism, okay? All right? Sometimes it just levels out to people of color sometimes end up being a higher percentage than others. So why shouldn't they do the time? And to fix this issue, to fix the issue of all the spending in the state of Magnolia, I believe that with this government-owned casinos, we put all of that money that the casino earns, we put all the money so we teach them the correct values. We teach them the right values in school, so possibly less crimes will be committed. That's how we will lower the prison spending.
Mr. Hayes, you have 1 minute to make a rebuttal.
I appreciate the sentiment, man. I really do. But we're attorney generals. So
Thank you.
we're not able to make casinos. We're not able to raise the income tax. We're not able to lower it. Our focus is on the justice system.
That's right.
None of the policies that this candidate has said that he will try to institute are even able to be done by an attorney general, such as casinos. But mine are, with my policies, to give funding back to our boys in blue and make sure that crime will fail. It'll solve both those problems. Not as many people will be on probation, because not as many people will commit crimes, because it will be stupid to commit a crime if our boys in blue are able to stop it before it even happens.
Thank you, candidates. You may be seated.
All right, up next we'll have our lieutenant governors coming to the stage. For the lieutenant governor and governor portion of this debate, the rules have changed a little bit for those two. Instead of a 2-minute opening statement, you'll get 3 minutes, and for the questions, you'll get 1 minute and 30 seconds for both the question and rebuttal.
Good evening, gentlemen. Mr. Taggart, you have 3 minutes to make an opening statement.
Thank you. How y'all boys doing today? Okay. So, as a lieutenant governor, the policies that I would be stating, obviously, I'm going to be working with the Senate closely to pass these bills and these city projects. Okay. So, as your lieutenant governor, I'm going to be focusing on these projects that are really making that bottom feeder impact. And what I mean by that is, like, oftentimes in Mississippi, we have these poor areas, right? Magnolia, yeah. And we have these poor areas, right, like the Delta and all these places, like, they were just talking about crime, right? But they were saying, because all these poor areas, they don't have this infrastructure, they don't have these good education systems, it's more violent, there's more crime there. With me as your lieutenant governor, I would take the money from the casinos that would be state regulated, take that money, put it back into these poor areas to stop that cycle of poverty and, low education, low college degrees. Change that, all right? I would also focus on, we haven't mentioned it yet, but there have been some speaking on the income tax. Some people want to increase that, and I would argue that we should not increase that, because, we already, it's still there, like a good bit, so I don't think we need to change that. But another thing that I really want to focus on is also the healthcare and health insurance. All these big corporations, they want to take your money and move it from your pocket to their pocket, okay? These deductions, these fees, all this stuff, it's just coming out at you out of nowhere, and it's a bunch of money racking it in. Even if you have a little cold, you come in for the day, and it's a bunch of money just to get seen, right? And so with me as your lieutenant governor, I'm going to pass bills to stop that and lower that, okay? So then you can just be seen by a doctor for a normal price, okay? And another thing I'm going to be focusing on is really looking at our budget, okay? And I'm going to be working closely with the treasurer and making sure, we're not going to do a full reform, but we're going to make sure, go through everything and make sure that all the money is being spent, like, properly. We're not going to waste a cent, okay? On these city projects, we're going to make sure everything is going where it needs to go. There's no fraud, there's no stealing, okay? We're going to stop all that. Okay, so those are the main ideas that I want to focus on as your lieutenant governor. All right, vote for me, and we will make Magnolia great again.
candidate. Mr. Parker, you have 3 minutes to make an opening statement.
Hey everyone, my name is Crosby Parker and I'm running for Lieutenant Governor. My goal is to be a servant for you guys. When Mr. Holland was up here and he was giving his speech on the different aspects of leadership, my favorite is service oriented because I think to be a good leader, you have to be a servant first. Because in order to get something done, it has to be the right thing that's getting done. And I'm going to be listening to you guys, whether you're a Federalist, Independent, or Nationalist. I want our policies to get through. I mean, especially public execution. I mean, that one's been going pretty hot. So that one's going through, and then apart from that, we were just talking about criminal rates. We have a terrible crime rate in Magnolia. Our school to prison pipeline is very huge. It's a very big deal. It's very real for a lot of students, a lot of communities. The school to prison pipeline is a very huge issue. And for me, that's the issue I'm most passionate about, mentorship. I think that in order to help, to talk about probationary period and to talk about the punishment is treating the symptoms and not treating the problem. In order to treat the problem, we have to stop the crime before it ever happens. We need to find that student, the at-risk individuals, and we need to tell them that, we need to give them encouragement. We need to let them know that they can contribute to society in this way. They can be supported, because a lot of them come from terrible situations. You have broken homes, you have trauma, and all these, especially lower socioeconomic areas, and they need support. They need encouragement from other leaders in their community, other leaders in their high schools, and their elementary and middle schools. We need to let them know that there is a place for them. They can be supported, and they can help society. Because then you give them meaning, and then you treat the problem. Now we don't have to lose, like we all know the stories. We know the stories of that person you see in your high school and then one day they drop off the face of the earth because they committed some crime or they got in some accident. Youth violence in our state is terrible and it's a very real issue. And then apart from that, we also have the income tax. I say abolish it completely. I don't think that we need it at all because all these other states, you got Texas, Florida, they've abolished it and they're thriving. It's stimulated their economy. It's brought businesses. It's brought other workers. We need that for us. Magnolia needs that kind of stimulation. We need that for our economy. So, once again, I would just like to say that I will be a servant to you guys. I want to make sure that each of our policies get passed, and if it's a little up there, then we need to work on it. I'm happy to work on whatever with you guys. I just want to be a servant to y'all. Vote Crosby Parker for Lieutenant Governor.
Thank you, candidates. This question is for both candidates. If elected, how would you unify Magnolia under your leadership?
That's a great question.
One second, Elliot. All right. With challenges ranging from rural hospitals, hospital closures, to divisive taxation debates, how would you use your role as a moderator in the Senate to encourage bipartisan cooperation?
It's a great question. And I think that a lot of that comes back to, with the hospitals and stuff, it kind of leads back to what I was talking about earlier with the health insurance and healthcare. I mean, like, it's so expensive just to get basic needs, taken care of today. And that's something that I would really focus on passing bills, to make that more, like, sustainable and reliable. And I would also just like to mention one quick, this might be off topic, but if we cut the income tax like 100%, where's all that funding come from? I mean, like, that's a big part of how we're like gonna build our infrastructure and stuff. We can't just abolish it completely.
Thank you, candidate. Mr. Parker?
Can you repeat the question one more time for me?
All right, yes, candidate. If elected, How do you unify Magnolia under your leadership? With challenges ranging from rural hospital closures to divisive taxation debates, how do you use your role as a moderator in the Senate to encourage bipartisan cooperation?
Absolutely. So, just like I said earlier, it's to be a servant. First, in order to lead somebody, you have to provide help. You have to be there if they need your help. And whether you're a Federalist, Independent, Nationalist, I want to work with you. I want to make sure we can get our policies passed. If you're passionate, I'm passionate about it. Let's get it done. When it comes to taxation, there's other examples of where of other states that have abolished the income tax, and it's been very beneficial to them. I think it would be very beneficial to us, especially because we can supplement that income with money from casinos, gambling, money from our Mudcats team. We can have all this supports removing the income tax. And to moderate the Senate, my goal is to make it as clean, effective, efficient as possible. I've heard a lot of stories about how in past years we're up until 3 in the morning trying to pass city policies. I don't want to do that. I want to get back to the dorm as quick as possible. I want to make sure that we get all of our policies passed as painlessly as we can. And I'm here to work with you. I'm here to work for you. And that's what I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, candidate. Mr. Tiger, Mr. Taggart, what issues and legislation are you most passionate about moving through the Senate? How do you plan to navigate a body that will contain a fair number of members of your competing party and may have opposing agendas to your own?
Great question. And I would just like to say how we're going to unify this state, and what I'm most passionate about are the new Magnolia Mudcats. Look, whether you're nationalist or Federalist or independent, we can all agree we want this NFL team, okay? And this would be great for our state in many ways. It's going to bring in, jobs, okay? And it literally will just unify us through the spirit of that, okay? And it's going to bring jobs and more, activity and economic prosperity to our state, and businesses revolved around that, okay? I mean, this could go in many different ways, and it would be woven into our society in numerous ways, and that could be very successful in putting Magnolia back on the economic top.
Thank you, candidate. Mr. Parker, you have the rebuttal.
So, like he said, there's many issues that we are kind of united about right now. And I think if we focus on that and branch off to the other issues, we can work together very well when it comes to Mudcats, when it comes to public execution, when it comes to gambling supplements. I think that we can use this to unify the two parties and the independents. We can come together and we can work through this efficiently, painlessly. And as for the legislation that I'm passionate about, personally, it's mentorship. I think that we have very real situations in our state where students need encouragement. Otherwise, they're just going to get left behind because no one seems to care about them. We need to bring people into these communities, and they need to lift them up so that they know the opportunities that they have here, and they are able to help support our state and support themselves and their families. I think that is really huge to me because personally, we've created a mentorship program where I'm from, and it's been very impactful to see it. It's real stories, it's real kids' lives, and you can see how it changes. You can see how their faces light up when they come in, and you don't see them smile that much outside of that kind of situation. So that's something that personally I'm passionate about, and at the end of the day, if y'all are passionate about something, I'm passionate about it. I would love to work with y'all. Go Mudcats.
Thank you, candidate. Mr. Parker, the Lieutenant Governor is a peculiar position, as you hold a fair amount of individual power, but ultimately exist to support and supplement the governor. How do you plan to handle the potential conflict that could arise if you are asked to serve under a member of your opposing party?
Well, I think it comes down to some of the things I've already said. Once again, servant leadership. Can't lead without being a servant first. Also, I don't know if y'all seen me this week, just walking around shaking hands with everybody. I've been putting the work in. I've been making sure to get to know people, and I've talked to the opposing governor candidate, and we've talked about mentorship. We've talked about the other things. I've talked to most of the candidates over there. I've been putting the work in. Outside of this, during lunches, during whatever, I've been putting the work in. I've been talking to unify us. Outside of this, outside of the parties, we can come together and we can make this stuff happen. Thank you.
Thank you, candidate. Mr. Tigert, you have the rebuttal.
You know, I couldn't agree with Crosby more. Like he said, we've talked about this, and at the end of the day, you know, we're in these powerful leadership positions. And whether you're nationalist, independent, federalist, we're here to serve all of y'all and be open-minded, right? Like you said, mentorship and what we've talked about. Okay, so I'm here for you guys. I'm just like the voice and like putting it actually into action, okay? And like you said, you know, and we've both been doing this. We've both been going around. Every candidate up here has been going around, shaking hands, working hard, trying to like, you know, be the man of the people and come out here and represent them right. And that's exactly what I'm trying to embody as your future lieutenant governor if I were to be elected.
Thank you, candidates. You may take your seat.
I love you, Harlan.
Will the candidates for governor please come forward? Thank you, gentlemen. All right. Mr. Owens, or both candidates really, but you're going to start. If elected, how do you unify Magnolia under your leadership? Opening. My apologies. Mr. Owens, you have 3 minutes to make an opening statement.
Thank you. How y'all doing? Good. How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? Good. How y'all feeling? That's good, that's good. My name is Aiden Owens, and I have the pleasure of being the Nationalist Party's nominee for governor for the 2025 Boyd State session. You know, I've had the opportunity to talk to a lot of you this week, in these 3 days that we've been here, to see where your minds are, see how I can work with you, and see how I can be a better leader for you guys. I want to start off by saying, America has this motto of e pluribus unum, this Latin phrase that translates out of the many, we are one. My message for you today is simple but firm. We are not just nationalists, we are not just independents, and we are not just federalists, but we are Magnolia. We share the roadways, and we support for our small businesses, we support for our farmers, and we want a strong education system. We want a stronger criminal reform. And sometimes we have made our issues complicated when they really are simple. We mostly agree on these issues that we have and that have been given to us. You know, as I was writing this speech, I was reminded of how I could deal with these indifferences of opinions, and I thought about my own at home. I'm the oldest of 5 brothers, and I'm accustomed to being surrounded by differences of opinions. It's been a shared goal. See, my brother Mason, he prefers, everything on his burger. My brother Jace doesn't want any cheese. Asa just wants ketchup, and I only want cheese. But at the end of the day, we all come together at the kitchen table, and we sit down, and we eat, and we talk, and we have fun. And I'm only trying to ask
can't we all sit and talk about these issues and come down and we all can eat together? I not only want to legalize marijuana, but you want to legalize marijuana as well, right? I want to lower the gambling age. Do you want to lower the gambling age? That's what I thought. And you want to, I want to use the money from my gambling, the gambling and the lottery to fund our education system that is already a little depleted at the point. And I want to build it back up. Do you want to do the same? Do you want to do that? If our teachers are not getting paid an adequate amount, how do you think we're going to have the adequate amount of education in this Magnolia State? You know, I feel like most importantly together, we want a stronger Magnolia. Not a better, not a richer, but a stronger one. A firm one that stands in this belief that I just issued. So I feel like, I know if you vote for Aiden Owens, I feel like we all can eat together. Thank you.
Thank you, candidate. Mr. Jordan, you have 3 minutes to make an opening statement.
Good morning, everyone. How y'all doing? Good. Y'all feel fired up? Yeah. Make some noise. I see a lot of people in the back tired, yawning, the whole speeches. I know y'all ready to go, huh? Yeah. But how's Boise State been for everybody? Good. And I love that. I love that y'all feel that way. For the state of Magnolia, I want better. And these boys over here, they gave it their all. Like the policies, everything. They came up here with a chance to change. And that's what I want. I want change for the better. I want all of you, Federalists, Nationalists, Independents, I want everybody to feel good. I want everybody to feel like we're doing the best that we can for our state, the state of Magnolia. I come from a small town, Yazoo City. A lot of y'all come from small towns. Poor. Some of y'all have issues. And that's a common thing we all have. We all have issues. And if we come together and solve these, and we have, a lot of these boys said the same thing up here. If we came together and we have these issues, we can find the solution. I'm willing to work towards that. As a governor, Juelz Jordan, I feel like if we all come together, we can do anything we put our minds to. And that's what my mama always told me. It's just me and her. And I feel like, as of now, I want to represent y'all well. I want to show out. Hey, him in the back, my staff member over here, he said, Juelz, why you sitting up like that? I want you to puff your chest out. Puff your chest out. And that's what I want all you young men to do now. Puff your chest out and stand tall. Thank you, and vote Juelz Jordan for governor.
Thank you, candidate. Mr. Jordan, if you would start with our question about candidates. If elected, how do you unify Magnolia under your leadership? How do you lead on the contentious funding issues like the amphitheater or lottery implementation, balancing economic ambition with equity and fairness across all regions of Magnolia?
So under my leadership, as we've had a leadership mentor come in and tell us, I want to be nimble. I want to solve these problems fast and adapt. I want policies that'll bring money into our system. Cannabis, the agriculture, you know, just a fun fact, timber is our most, like where we get the most money from in Magnolia. And I want y'all to know this. So if we put timber, cannabis, legalize those things and put it into our system, we have money. And when we get that money, we can make casinos, have those PPPs, those private investors invest in an NFL team. Go Mudcats! And these city projects, we can fund them. And for our prison systems, those minor crimes, we can have those people work on roads. I heard one of my Rainer he said he has a physics truck with potholes. If we have our prisoners work on those things, work on our roads, we can have better roads, more ways to get here. Because, hey, I'm not trying to drive 2 hours just for no good food. Like, it's insane in Magnolia. But if we create programs for those prisoners and education system we have now, if y'all want to lower the gambling age, right? We can lower the gambling age if we start programs in school. Hey, I'd go to school if we had a gambling team.
Thank you, candidate. Mr. Owens, you have the rebuttal.
Do you mind repeating the question for me real quick?
Yes, candidate. The question is, if elected, how would you unify Magnolia under your leadership? How would you lead on contentious funding issues like the amphitheater or lottery implementation, balancing economic ambition with equity and fairness across all regions of Magnolia?
Stand up if I've talked to you this week and shook your hand. If you look around, I don't gotta say much as to why I can bring you together. You talk to me about your bills. You sit down now. You sit down. You talk to me about passing your bills. And I told you and I said that I'm going to be fair. And I'm going to look at what is just and what is right. And one part of that question, how I'm going to find that funding and how am I going to enact these. So I have these right here. I took some notes. But here. First of all, using our rural areas. I want to use that money from the gambling and the lottery system to fund a program that I've come up with Crosby here called the EIP. It's the Educational Impact Program. And it's to put mandatory mentorship into the rural communities and to give them outlets. Most of you have told me that you stay in rural areas that don't have many things to do. You don't have many places to go, and it's long drives and long waits before you can really do anything. And the EIP will bring that to you. And it's funded by the gambling and the lottery system, the money that we're putting into it, and it's going to be funded to you, and each and every one of you that stay in these rural areas. And also, it helps stop some of our crime.
Thank you, candidate. Mr. Owens, across the nation, Americans are pushing for changes in schools' security standards and gun control approaches in order to combat the recent spike in mass shootings. As governor, what policies would you put in place to ensure the safety of students in Magnolia schools?
Now, I'm sure some of you, raise your hand if you own a gun, or you have your parents take your gun or something. All right. So, and I'm personally, I feel like we should have right to bear arms and carry it around and do all that. But we abuse that right. Our Second Amendment right. We abuse that when we get in our, if somebody is, you said in the school shootings, right? We abuse that right when we go and use these guns and these weapons, these knives and other things to harm people inside of our school. School is a place for education, a place where we can come together to help better this society and this world, America in general. And we're cutting lives. We're cutting lives short. And what I would like to do is, I feel like we should have stronger gun laws by providing that at the age of 21. That's when you can own, 18 is when you can legally own any weapon. You can be fully out of high school. You can own any weapon of no kind. It should not start at 16, you can own this or that. No, it should start at 18. We need to prevent that by having this in school. We need to have metal detectors. And I won't need to be checked because this is not a prison or nothing, but we need to have firmer checks and firmer metal detectors and other things like that.
Thank you, candidate. I apologize. The subject was mass shootings, not school shootings. Apologize. Mr. Jordan, you have the rebuttal.
So I'm wondering, one of his nationalist candidates had the impact program for school shootings as well. Like,
So the impact program starts with younger kids, right? And in schools, we can have those kids have counselors and they can have somebody to talk to. The main reasons for mass shootings is it's mental diseases. And I study medicine. So like those mental diseases causes people, they get pushed over the edge, bullying. And I wonder why, why can't we do anything to help these kids? And I feel like we as a community, as the state of Magnolia, we can come together and get those kids and those mass shootings, and we can put an end to them if we just put in place the right measures that could. I feel like counseling would help a lot in those mass shootings. I feel like we need to. With mass shootings, I feel like we need background checks for those, for buying guns, and we need thorough systems in order to put in place that we can make sure that these weapons of violence aren't being sold to the wrong people. And the
Thank you,
schools-
candidate. Mr. Owens. One of the major powers of the governor is the ability to appoint members to open seats in the legislature. Without consideration to the current power balance, how do you plan to utilize this power? Will you focus solely on your party's agenda, or are you open to allocating positions to your opponents in the interest of bipartisanship? Will you use this authority to ensure leadership reflects the priorities of the underfunded regions, especially in healthcare, infrastructure, and education?
You asked this question earlier, how can I have a bipartisan leadership? I talked to most of you that want these positions and asked me how can I help you? And how can I help you is dissecting what you have told me of how you can be a leader and why you should be put into these positions on both sides. Federalists, nationalists, and independents have all come up to me and asked me, could I do something? And my job is, if I'm elected, I will sit down and I will talk to each and everybody. I will list some names and I will talk to you. And I want to hear your issues. I want to hear your policies that you have for me and how we can work together to better these issues, whether you're a federalist or a nationalist. And if I pick all federalists, it's because I'm going to think that it doesn't help you more. If I'm going to pick all nationalists, that's what I think is going to help you more as a people, not as a nationalist, not as a federalist, but as one. We are one Magnolia, we are one voice state, and that is my policy, and that's what I'm going to do.
Thank you, candidate. Mr. Jordan, you have the rebuttal.
Thank you. So, I feel like I agree with him. It should be based on, are you qualified for the part? What can you do to make an impact for our senators? It doesn't matter if you're a federalist or a nationalist. I want somebody who gives an idea and is willing to take it far in our Senate and House of Representatives. And what betters us is that all of us mainly agree on the same policies. So even if you have somebody in all federalists or all nationalists, Big Eight, or whoever we appoint, it really doesn't matter because in the end, we can all achieve the same goal. And I'm willing to work with y'all in doing that.
Thank you, candidates. You may take your seats.
Do y'all want to do a chant?
Yeah.
Y'all feel like, can we do it? No. Well, thank y'all.
Y'all, let's give all the candidates a stand up. Let's give it up for Big Eight candidates.